Next on News 8, what went wrong? The stunning rocket explosion that lit up the sky and just grounded a NASA mission.
Plus, she's a survivor, Dallas nurse Amber Vinson, Ebola-free and back in Dallas tonight. Our first glimpse of her reunion with Presby co-workers straight ahead.
And after a dog's death, a push for a different kind of police training. What's changing after this video went viral?
Well, if you've been looking forward to some cooler temperatures and some rain, then you're going to love this forecast. I'll tell you when they'll both arrive. News 8 at 10 starts now.
Live from Victory Park, this is News 8 at 10.
Good evening, I'm Cynthia Izaguirre.
I'm Jason Wheeler in for John McKay tonight. A lot of big stories that we're working this evening. We're going to get to all of them, but we start off with Amber Vinson, the Dallas nurse just cleared of Ebola. New here at 10 o'clock tonight, we just got this picture of Vinson. It shows the nurse just after she arrived at Love Field earlier this evening. You can see her hugging a Texas Health Presbyterian co-worker.
She arrived back in Dallas around 5 o'clock tonight. We brought you the moment live as the plane landed. Vinson spent about 2 weeks in treatment at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta. Channel 8's Jobin Paniker is live at Texas Health Presbyterian with what we know about her recovery and her reunion with her family and loved ones. Jobin?
Well, it's interesting how things sort of come full circle. Amber Vinson is back here at Dallas Presbyterian Hospital, but she will be here a couple of days. But this time, she is healthy. She's waiting for her mom and fiance to finish up their quarantine. When you've been in isolation for 2 weeks, an embrace like this must feel good.
After a rigorous course of treatment and thorough testing, we have determined that Ms. Vinson has recovered from her infection with Ebola virus.
News heard and welcomed around the world. This wasn't the same Amber we saw slowly walking into an ambulance. In a gray suit with medical staff around her, she spoke for the first time.
And first and foremost, I want to thank God. I sincerely believe that with God, all things are possible.
Free after 2 weeks of fighting off Ebola, contracted it while helping a man dying from it. And despite all her struggles, a statement that speaks to her humility.
While this is a day for celebration and gratitude, I ask that we not lose focus on the thousands of families who continue to labor under the burden of this disease in West Africa.
The 29-year-old arrived on a CareFlight twin engine back at home in North Texas. Judge Clay Jenkins waited with family.
She came off that plane, hugged her mom and her fiance, and immediately went to nursing. I noticed she got a tissue out and was wiping her mom's eyes.
That hug extended to her colleagues at Dallas Presbyterian. She was immediately taken here to the hospital. It's where mom and fiance will stay, at least until their quarantine is over. And then there will be more smiles like this, one that screams joy and relief. Jobin Paniker, Channel 8 News.
And so tonight, here's where we stand at this point. We can still say there are no Ebola patients in Dallas right now. 97 people, though, who had contact with our 3 patients here, Amber Vinson, Nina Pham, and Thomas Eric Duncan, are still in that 21-day monitoring period. Most of them are healthcare workers who had contact with the 2 infected nurses or treated Duncan, who was the first patient who arrived in Dallas from Liberia. None of them showing any symptoms at this time, and come November 7th, all who are being monitored are expected to be in the clear.
We are following a developing story out of Missouri tonight where the police chief of Ferguson denies a CNN report that he's resigning. Tom Jackson's department has been the subject of months of unrest since a police officer killed unarmed teenager Michael Brown during a struggle.
Tonight, NASA is promising a thorough investigation into a rocket explosion this evening in Virginia. The unmanned craft blew up seconds after takeoff. It was a spectacular explosion, too. That craft was supposed to take supplies to the International Space Station. Part of that cargo, a satellite created by students at UT Austin. This is the first failure, by the way, since NASA hired private companies for space flight. Well, we are 1 week away now from election night, and the entire oil and gas industry is turning its attention to Denton now.
At stake, a landmark decision that has money pouring in from outside the city. News 8's Todd Unger has more.
If all politics is ultimately local, then Denton, Texas is the battleground spot this year, literally pitting neighbor against neighbor.
Mostly because of what's going on right behind the house.
Elise Ogletree never asked for any of this. But when a fracking well started operating some 200 feet from her backyard earlier this year, she ended up in the middle of it.
There's nothing that could put my mind at peace. You know, no money would have made me happy. It would have been them moving out. They don't belong this close to homes. Soon,
Denton will decide if they belong here at all. On Tuesday, in what would be a first for any Texas town, a proposal to ban fracking within city limits is on the ballot.
I'm for drilling for oil. I am for fracking. But the thing is that it needs to be done responsibly.
There are already some 270 oil and gas wells in Denton. If the measure passes, they won't go anywhere. But opponents say the city will be going to court.
This is going to be a problem legally, both from the taking standpoint and also from the jurisdictional standpoint.
Tom Giovanetti runs a national conservative think tank, and the Denton County resident says lawsuits from oil companies and mineral rights owners are a certainty.
And hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal costs, and literally millions of dollars in settlements.
But folks on both sides of the issue do agree on one thing. Rarely has so much outside money flown into a simple ballot issue. According to the latest campaign finance reports, supporters of the Pass the Ban committee have gotten notable donations from outside environmental groups like Earthworks, which gave nearly $40,000 overall. But that is dwarfed by what oil corporations have ponied up to prevent a ban. XTO Energy has given $150,000, while Devon and Enervest have written checks totaling nearly $200,000 apiece.
Is trying to make the grassroots argument.
Political observers expect a razor-thin outcome on Tuesday, and all that money will likely have an impact, but it might not be what you expect.
A lot of Denton citizens have been inundated with mailers and billboards, and I think sometimes people who are not that informed about the issue might push back against that.
Matt says the industry has deep roots here in Denton, and if folks vote along party lines, that could also tilt the balance.
And we know that there are more Republicans and Democrats. And if people perceive this issue to be a partisan issue, then this benefits the no side.
Whatever happens, it won't change one thing. Elise's backyard is still only 200 feet from that well. She just hopes that doesn't happen to anyone else. Now, there has also been a whole lot of talk about a potential economic impact on the city of Denton. Let's bring up a graphic we have here. One study suggests that up to $250 million could be lost over the coming decade, but some folks, including outspoken Councilman Kevin Roden, dispute that figure, pointing out that less than 1% of city households make their living solely off mining in oil and gas. Reporting live tonight, Todd Unger, Channel 8 News.
New at 10 tonight, new training after a controversy in Cleburne where an officer is under investigation for killing a pit bull puppy. Officer Kevin Dupree received death threats, and tonight there's a plan to protect officers and dogs in the future. Channel 8's Jim Douglas reports.
Did this Cleburne officer follow deadly force policy when he killed the registered pit bull Maximus? Were policies adequate for facing possibly aggressive dogs? While investigators pursue those questions, Cleburne PD will get more training like this.
How many people in here think they can handle a dog encounter without lethal force?
From former police officer Jim Osorio.
I'm going to train them whatever they carry. They can be used on an animal, whether it's a clipboard or a road flare or whatever.
Fort Worth police hired Osorio for mandatory training after an officer shot Lily the border collie 2 years ago. Instead of suing, Lily's owners asked for officers to be trained in non-lethal force. But they realized the problem went far beyond Fort Worth.
Hundreds of dogs had been shot before Lily.
Cindy Bowling and her husband Mark now campaign for a new law requiring training for police across Texas, and it's starting to happen. The Combined Law Enforcement Associations of Texas, or CLEAT, will provide the course in Cleburne in December.
This is huge. It's huge. This announcement verifies that CLEAT likes what we're doing.
Cindy Bowling believes training would have prevented the Cleburne shooting.
He would have been trained to have a different mindset.
Officer Kevin Dupree was responding to complaints of a snapping pit bull, and he said the dog became aggressive with him. After the video went viral, thousands demanded action against him. Fleet officials hope statewide training will lead to fewer dog shootings, but also fewer social media attacks on officers who feel they have to pull the trigger as a last resort. Jim Douglas, Channel 8 News.
Texas will have a new governor this time next Tuesday, and spending in the race has almost reached $83 million. New numbers from the Houston Chronicle show Republican Attorney General Greg Abbott has spent about $46.8 million on his campaign, while Democratic State Senator Wendy Davis has spent around $36 million. Arlington city leaders tonight approved changes to a sidewalk ordinance that could impact open carry demonstrations. The change bans people from distributing items at intersections like open carries informational pamphlets to people in cars unless the cars can be reached from the sidewalk. City leaders call it a safety issue. Open carry reps argue it violates their First Amendment rights. Whether it's get-rich-quick schemes or you're in trouble threats, a lot of us are vulnerable to a clever con man.
Yeah, and one con that's making the round, taking advantage of families in Rockwall tonight. It all starts with a phone call. Byron Harris reports.
The sheriff wants you.
That one was different.
That's the scare Michelle Nelson got earlier this month.
My name is Lieutenant Phillips. I'm with the Rockwall County Sheriff's Department. I need you to contact me at 972-841.
He tells me that they're going to put a bench warrant out for my husband for failure to appear for jury duty.
Lieutenant Phillips said he was calling from the Rockwall County Courthouse. It was late on a Friday afternoon. The courthouse would close soon.
Something was telling me it wasn't right, but every time I would question it, he would get more aggressive with me.
To put off an arrest, she could post a bond of $495 that she'd get back after a hearing at Courtroom C in the Rockwall County Courthouse. Mrs. Nelson didn't know if her husband actually missed jury duty. That Courtroom C doesn't exist, nor did she know it's very rare for a warrant to be issued for missing jury duty.
I've never heard of it. I mean, I guess if you made a judge mad enough, I guess he could do it.
But Vicki Oldham says at least 13 people in Rockwall County in the last 2 months have gotten calls from men impersonating police officers who threatened arrest and demanded that a bond be posted. The so-called Lieutenant Phillips instructed Michelle Nelson to go to this 7-Eleven, buy a green dot cash card, and put $495 on it. She did. Almost as if she were being watched, as soon as she walked out of the store, she got a call on her cell phone
saying, I need to get this in, I need to get this in.
The cash card has a code number, which allows money to be withdrawn from the account.
And he said, read the number, and he's real aggressive at this point. As soon as I finished that last number, he hung up.
The man calling himself Lieutenant J. Phillips said he would meet her on the Rockwall County Courthouse steps and deliver the paperwork in her case. The lesson here is this: no sheriff's office will ever call and ask you for money on the phone. The Rockwall County Sheriff's Office says the scam may well be over here, but it could be moving to your county. Byron Harris, Channel 8 News.
Next on News 8, protecting your privacy in the age of social media. It is the new homegrown app helping you keep your selfies to yourself.
Plus, we've got to talk about the Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo tonight, what we know about his back after last night's hard hit. Dale's got the latest on that coming up.
And who could forget this? Tonight, we know what happened right before this fight broke out at DFW.
Tomorrow, Taylor Swift shaking things up on The View.
Are you ready?
Then Thursday on GMA, it'll be epic with Taylor Swift's concert event of the season, live and only on.
Good morning, America.
Presented by the Amex Everyday Credit Card.
The 2014 Kim Dawson Model Search finalists have been selected. Now it's time to pick the WFAA Viewer's Choice. Go to WFAA.com/model search to vote for your favorite, now through November 14th. The vote is on in the 2014 Kim Dawson Model Search.
So, how would you promote Charger during the Dodge Big Finish?
Let's take a road trip down memory lane. I'm talking high-octane action, jetpacks, devilishly handsome spokesperson. There's only one way to top that, guys. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Butkus. 0% for 72 months on all 2014 models.
He's good. That's crazy.
And I love it.
Get $4,250 total cash allowance or 0% financing for 72 months on the 2014 Charger SXT rear-wheel drive.
I study every detail of my business, payroll, purchasing, production, and still keep the big picture of profitability and growth in clear view. My banker at Prosperity also focuses on details. He knows my name and he listens to what I have to say. Thank you. He offers the banking services that meet my business needs. Well, you know your business. You want bankers who know theirs. Prosperity bankers know the business of banking.
Your bank for business, Prosperity Bank, where you find real bankers, not just a bank.
Hey, see how that feels? You might get a tickle from it. Yeah.
We have some new information tonight on that dramatic situation at DFW Airport last week that was caught on tape. McLeish Benham, who was caught on camera shouting homophobic slurs and attacking a man, well, that man had told Benham to stop yelling at a female gate agent, it turns out. Well, Benham told police he had 100 drinks before the fights. The 27-year-old from Shelbyville, Tennessee, was charged with assault and public intoxication. North Texas could be getting a new east-west toll road that stretches through Dallas and Ellis counties. TxDOT looking at plans for what would be called Loop 9. They've outlined the route in red on this map. You can see that the corridor wraps around parts of southeast Dallas, Ellis, and Kaufman counties. Crews are now planning to start with the section between I-35 and I-45 first.
New tonight, a free way to protect your pictures online before you post anything else to Facebook or Twitter. Watch this next story. A Plano company just released a free app that makes your images self-destruct and even prevents people from taking a screenshot of them. Channel 8's Jason Whiteley reports.
Share something online and most figure it's out there forever.
These are yobos that have been sent to me.
But a Plano company is changing that mindset.
Not everything we share should be shared forever.
It created an app called Yovo.
Yovo loosely stands for You Only View Once.
You only view once. Instead of adding photographic filters on images, Yovo lets you apply privacy filters. Blur your pictures, even set a timer on each to make them self-destruct. It allows people to protect the shots they share on Facebook, on Twitter, even in an email.
Here's the coolest thing, though, about this. You can't even screen capture an image. Instead, the app will put blurred lines on the shot, and that could create future uses like ways to distribute coupons, tickets, or even online tests.
What we're really doing is we're running the equivalent of a virtual fence across your image. And if any of your friends try to screen capture the photo, they actually will stop and they will see fence and a little bit of image behind it.
And that's how the app might eventually make money, scrambling screenshots. For now, Yovo is free. Just came out this month, the only privacy app of its kind, designed to make it a little safer to share on social media. Jason Whiteley, Channel 8 News.
Well, Hollywood's going to love that one.
You know, parents might too, but I keep telling my kids, if you've got to delete something that quickly, chances are you shouldn't be sending that photo or that text to begin with.
I wish that I did stuff like that with my phone, that I needed to scramble it or have it deleted immediately.
Not nearly that interesting, is it?
I'm not interesting at all. I don't have anything like that. I wish I did. I'll check tomorrow, maybe. Okay, let me show you what's going on outside right now. We've had a cold front that's moved through. It moved through around midday today. It's weak. It's off to the southeast of us, and where you see the rain, Palestine, Jacksonville, Tyler, that's where the cold front is right now. Right along that front and then in advance of it, that's where we have enough lift and enough moisture. In East Texas, humidity levels are higher there. That's where we're seeing just a little bit of rain. It's just some light showers, may pick up a rumble of thunder. I have no severe weather in the forecast at all. Temperature right now in Nacogdoches 72. It's 69 in Tyler, 72 in Dallas, 63 in Denton. So it's a little bit cooler on the back side of that front, but you have to head well to the northwest to pick up some cooler temperatures. In Vernon, it's 57, and again, it's in the 60s. In Fort Worth, 69, 63 in Denton, 62 in Gainesville right now. So that's where the front is at this point. As we head through the day tomorrow, most of the precip stays off to the east. The front sags to the south and then just falls apart. Tomorrow will be a day pretty similar to today temperature-wise. Today we had a high of 77. Tomorrow's high 77. The difference in the 2 days is today we had a lot of clouds clouds around. Tomorrow we should see a bit more sunshine. Rain chances tomorrow, still a possibility. It's not very likely, though, and it's off to the east of us. The Dallas-Fort Worth area will stay dry. Well to the east and southeast, a low chance of rain. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, everyone has a chance of picking up just a little bit of rain. It's a 10% chance, so it's not great. Tonight, 30% chance well to the southeast of Dallas. Scattered rain, nothing severe, mostly cloudy. 55 tonight. Tomorrow we'll have a high temperature of 77. A mainly dry day, except well to the southeast and east of Dallas. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny. There's the mid to upper 70s tomorrow. Next 7 days, 79 on Thursday, warmer, still nice. Happy Halloween Friday, 74 degrees. Should be a beautiful Halloween day this Friday. Plenty of sunshine Saturday. Cooler Saturday's high only 67. Breezy and warmer Sunday up to 71. And there's the chance of rain. The stuff this week is fairly insignificant except southeast Texas. Monday, Tuesday, maybe even into Wednesday next week, we have a decent chance of rain. And don't forget Tuesday, 1 week from today actually, is Election Day. Also, the trick-or-treat forecast Friday evening, mostly clear skies, dry and comfortable. 68 degrees will be our low temperature as we head through tonight. And then, of course, this Sunday morning, the time change. We fall back. Time to fall back this Sunday. Don't forget, daylight saving time ends. Standard time begins Saturday night, Sunday morning. Set those clocks back 1 hour.
Another long weekend for me.
Another long weekend for you. So you really do? You go to 7-Eleven all the time and you buy these?
These I got better than that. I won. I wasn't even going to mention this on the air, but I won the Bangkok lottery tonight.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah, $4.6 million. I gave it my credit card. I got to send them my birth certificate and passport. They're sending me the money.
This is great.
May not be here tomorrow when that money comes through. I am a rich, rich man. Hey, let me guess what we're talking about. Okay, Tony Romo's back. You figured it out. All right, we'll get to it.
Live captioning of News 8 is sponsored by Don Davis Auto Group, Ford, Lincoln, Dodge, Chrysler, Ram, Jeep, and Nissan. You'll find them all at Don Davis Auto Group.
These past weeks have been challenging and emotional for our community. Yet all of us at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital Dallas are thankful for so much. For you standing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trusting us to treat you safely and compassionately as we have for nearly 50 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your continued support as we move forward from here. Thank you.
Someday you won't need all of this space, and you'll miss their raisins all over the place, sandy beach toys and splattered sunscreen. So enjoy the journey and the melted ice cream.
The Infiniti QX60 and the QX60 Hybrid with best-in-class combined fuel economy. Lease the Infiniti QX60 for $439 a month. Visit your local Infiniti retailer.
When you want to know how your medication will work. When you want to know if insurance will cover your prescriptions. When you want to know which vitamins are best for you. Answers are as close as your Kroger pharmacy. Just ask. Your neighborhood Kroger pharmacist is an experienced professional who takes your health to heart.
Time to get your flu shot? Talk to your certified vaccinating Kroger pharmacist. Most insurance plans accepted and no appointment needed. Just ask your Kroger pharmacist today.
End this fall big. The days are getting shorter in Texas, but Ram 1500 makes the most of them. It's the first ever back-to-back Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner with best-in-class fuel economy, 28 mpg highway, 6 miles per gallon better than Ford EcoBoost. That's 27% better. Get a great deal before Ram Truck Month ends November 3rd. Right now, get $10,000 in total values on the 2014 Ram 1500 Lone Star Premium Crew Cab.
Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo has gotten a CT scan on that sore back of his. Cowboys were saying it was just a bruise last night, but it's Tony Romo's back, so they're checking everything any way they can. Romo gets sacked 5 times in that game last night, and that sack in the third quarter knocked him out of the game. Everybody wanted to know how bad it was. Would he ever play again? But luckily, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was on the sideline immediately to tell Coach Jason Garrett his quarterback was okay. He didn't tell Garrett Romo had to play, but unfortunately with this organization, somebody had to ask.
Well, it's a medical decision, first and foremost, and part of every medical decision is what the doctors say, what the trainers say, and then what the player says. And so we try to factor all those things into it. The other thing that we factor into beyond what the player says is what the player can do. Can he move around? A lot of guys say, I can go back in, but they can't walk, right? So you say, okay, you got to do something on the sideline for us to demonstrate.
Isn't it? Well, that wasn't it, but don't worry about it. The committee that will decide the 4 college teams for the playoffs this year has come out with their first ranking. Mississippi State and Florida State, the top 2. Auburn and Ole Miss, 3 and 4. TCU is at number 7 this week. Mavericks start the year in San Antonio tonight. They were behind early, but Monte Ellis gets 10 of his game-high 26 in the second quarter, and the Mavericks had an 8-point lead at the half. Well, let's go to the last 2 minutes. Game's tied at 98, and Dirk Nowitzki hits a jumper to put the Mavericks in front by 2, but not for long. Tony Parker hit a 3, spurs up a point, and it comes down to this. The new guy, Chandler Parsons, makes only 2 of 10 shots, 5 points, and misses this one. They played the last 3:27 without a timeout. That's good basketball. But the Mavericks lose tonight by 1. And the Stars are home to play the hated St. Louis Blues and their lovable coach, Ken Hitchcock. Game was tied at 1 in the second. Then Tyler Seguin gets his 7th goal of the year. Stars lead, but tied at 2 after 2. Tied at 3 after 3. But the Blues get Vladimir Tarasenko's hat trick for the 3rd score of that night for him. The Stars lose in overtime 4-3. Keller Central's football team is having a 500 season. They've won 4 and lost 4. But watch this story and tell me you care about that record anymore. Here's Ted Madden.
Sam Helsley gets the leftover jobs at Keller Central.
It's hard to find somebody that wants to do it.
In addition to being the holder on field goals and extra points, Sam signals in plays to the starting quarterback from the sideline.
I take it very seriously, and that's my part. That's my part on the team.
It's a dream come true for Sam, and especially for his dad, Bart Helsley.
On the money this morning, huh?
The head coach at Keller Central,
Sam,
who thinks about how lucky he is every time he sees Sam on the field.
Every day. Every day.
When he was 2, Sam was diagnosed with neuroblastoma. Doctors removed the tumor, chemotherapy got rid of the cancer, but radiation treatment prevented his back muscles from developing. As a result, Sam suffers from scoliosis, a curvature of the spine. But he has always wanted to play football, and he always has.
I'm just out there, and I'm like, wow, I get to play football, play for my dad, be out here with these guys.
Sam played quarterback growing up, but he knows he's not going to play this year at the varsity level, so he'll miss on those experiences, which includes getting hit. And that's why one of his season highlights came on a failed extra point.
He did his punt snap, and it shot right over my head.
The only thing going through your mind is, oh, I got to get on the ball. I got to get on the ball.
I heard the guys coming behind me.
One of the kids from Geyer got a good lick on him.
It felt good for some reason. I was like, I never get hit, and it just felt good, be in the game.
Doctors never said Sam couldn't play football, but the Helsleys know they're taking a bit of a risk every time Sam gets on the field.
He's going to get told no on, plenty of things that he attempts in his life.
Just when I'm out there and I'm able to high-five teammates and stuff, and just being a part of something is, I don't know, it's a great feeling.
Ted Madden, Channel 8 Sports in Keller.
Madden tells great stories, doesn't he?
Yes. You do forget all about that record, too.
He's got great subjects. We'll be right back.
Together we can secure our border, keeping Texans safe from drug cartels and gangs that are importing crime to our state.
Barack Obama won't secure the border, but Greg Abbott will. He'll double the funding for the Department of Public Safety and hire 500 more state troopers for border security.
I will never stop fighting, and that's why I'm asking you to elect me as your next governor.
When you're fighting cancer, it helps to have your support network by your side. That's why Texas Oncology brings the latest technology and research to your neighborhood. So you can fight cancer next to the ones you love.
drilling has brought millions in natural gas revenue to Denton, and being responsible, we've socked it away for use on public safety, parks, our school district, and universities. A proposed drilling ban would eliminate such revenue. That's irresponsible, and it would expose Denton to property rights lawsuits that could cost millions more. That's really irresponsible. So support responsible drilling. Vote no to the irresponsible drilling ban.
Okay, so you're officially off the clock. You better have a truck that can keep up. Ford F-150. From tailgating and touchdowns to suiting up and stepping out. It goes the distance with EcoBoost power and fuel economy, with all the slick details to keep you in the lap of luxury. Maybe that's why an F-Series truck is sold nearly every 42 seconds. Hey, get back to it, weekend warriors.
During the final days, get an F-150 with 0-66 plus $1,750 cash or up to $8,750 total savings at your Best in Texas Ford dealer.
Now, I understand there's some people have a difference of opinion on rape or incest.
No, rape is always rape. But Dan Patrick would deny victims of rape any options at all, and he voted against funding to test the backlog of rape kits, allowing rapists to walk free. These are not minor differences. Dan Patrick is just too dangerous.
I'm Leticia Vandeputte. We need to respect women and their families. As Lieutenant Governor, I'll fight for you.
A sneak peek at one of the coolest winter destinations in North Texas. Crews hard at work on the Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center's annual ice exhibit.
It's supposed to be something once again. This year's plan calls for a giant Frosty the Snowman and carvings made from 2 million pounds of ice. When you're in the mood for that, it's going to be happening. It starts up on November the 13th.
They bring in carvers all the way from China.
So the really good people, the pros. That does it for us here tonight. Thanks for being with us. For news, sports, weather, anytime, WFAA.com.
Kimmel exposes the truth about Nicole Kidman.
I didn't know until today that you were born in the United States.
I was born in Hawaii.
I didn't realize it's a fake accent. The whole thing is a...
Plus, dashing Dylan McDermott. New Jimmy Kimmel Live, tonight on ABC.
No one should live in fear in their own community. I think the district attorney needs to be proactive so they can gain that level of trust again between law enforcement and the community. When you take politics out of that equation, it's common sense. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel like our families are protected. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or independent, your job as a district attorney is to seek justice. It's the very first step of gaining trust.
The BMW i8's full-color head-up display keeps you focused